gentlemen, and welcome to Sci-Fi Saturdays. And here's your host. Please give it up for the one and only Geek.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sci-Fi Saturdays. We are live. My Zami. We are live. We are live with the inaugural show of Sci-Fi Saturdays. And this is the bridge. Welcome to the bridge, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome.
We're gonna take a journey through all things geek, and I have the best crew to my left with me on this
Best
show.
helmsman
To my left,
out there.
the best helmsman
Kid Dynamite
out there,
Garrett right
the
there.
kid Dynamite.
What's happening,
Gary,
y'all? How
right there.
y'all
What's up,
doing?
man?
How y'all
What's up,
doing,
man?
fellow geeks, dorks, nerds, those of us that rather be in front of a computer or home watching cartoons or reading comic books and find the real world sometimes a harsh place to be. Very harsh, but that's all right. That's why we have imagination. So long live the geek.
No doubt. To my right, the best science officer there is in the galaxy, Lieutenant Crystal Chanel. Crystal, what's happening?
Good morning, guys. How y'all
Awesome.
feeling?
Wonderful now.
Good. I'm happy to be here. Some folks are grabbing their cereal, they're grabbing their blanket as we go on this journey into Geek, and I'm just here for the ride.
Hey. I like that. That works for me. Listen, I am your captain, but we are going to take this journey into all things geek. I wanted to make it a really, really visceral experience because we're kind
Visceral?
of visceral.
I like that.
We're grown now in that we have bills and all this other kind of stuff that we have to deal with. But every first Saturday of the month, I wanted us to escape back to a time when it was not so serious. When it was
Hush.
about watching Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, that Dungeons and Dragons on CBS. Listen, bruh. Listen to me. And I just want to escape this. This show is not going to be political. It's not going to be all those things that really weigh us down. It's going to be something that's going to bring us up every Saturday morning, so we can just kind of veg out, geek out in front of the
And
TV.
eat some
like we
cereal.
used to,
Eat
and
some
just
cereal.
Escape back to a time when it was. Yeah, we got to eat some cereal. We got some Cocoa Krispies around this.
I'm going to
piece.
get me some Fruity Pebbles in a little
We got
bit.
a bridge crew.
You know what my
What's
favorite
that?
part about Fruity Pebbles
Really?
is?
And yeah.
The milk changes
Exactly, 'cause
after, and then you got to drink the
You ain't
milk.
had cereal unless
Not
you
real
had
if you don't
the
drink
milk
the milk.
with the sugar in it and the funny colors, which you don't even know what you're really eating, but it just tastes good. It really
You have
does.
no idea.
And you were always like confused about when you had to go play outside while you had a boo-boo. Like, why? Why I gotta go back inside right now, Mama?
Pretty much.
Because you
Drinking all
lactose
that
intolerant.
cow
You
milk.
know
That
it.
didn't work for
But
you.
we got soy milk today.
You,
We got almond milk.
got
There you
some
We
go.
got some almond milk here. We got the
Almond
almond
milk.
milk.
Ooh, and coconut.
Almond and coconut.
Special.
Yeah.
No,
the soy
it's
is not good for us.
It's not
black
good for men
ladies.
at all.
I don't
either.
know if you guys
Yeah,
know
it turns
that.
you into a woman.
Really?
No, but it really does. It does.
Okay.
moving right along.
Well, we don't want that issue.
I'm trying to keep my boyish yet girlish figure.
So
All right.
we're gonna segment the show out every first Saturday of the month. You're going to have different four segments per show. Our main topic, our dilemma of the day, is whether or not the geek culture can unify us as a people. But we're gonna be getting to that. First segment, however, helmsman Wright, we're gonna go through word around the galaxy. Word around the galaxy is. So let's start talking about the word around the galaxy. And that's all things, hot topics, I guess, for geek culture. And all the things that are currently on tap for geek culture. And we have a live audience, so we're going to definitely be getting some comments, some questions, some interaction from the live audience. That's just how we do with Sci-Fi Saturdays with Keith Wade. So the first thing I want to talk about is Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok opened this week. Apparently, it's going to be really, really good. I haven't seen it yet. I wanted to go see it last night, but after I got home
That's
from work, I
called
was
being
tired.
grown, having a job.
I ain't want to.
I thought we weren't talking about work today, though.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk
So
about
let's
work.
just pretend
That'd
we
be
don't
nice.
have jobs,
Yeah, we not. We still.
and we're just thinking about the movie. So what happened with Thor?
I have not seen it yet, but the critics are saying that it's a really good movie. They said it's hilarious. Now, I don't know if I'm good with Thor being funny. I don't know if I like that.
Lieutenant, don't be mad at me.
Oh my.
I never heard of Thor.
Oh
It's
my.
okay. We're gonna bring her along.
Okay.
We're gonna bring her
Also,
along.
we got you.
Bring her along.
We're
It's
gonna
okay.
introduce you to
See,
the
that's-
world of geekdom. This is for ladies. Those if you like tall, dark, well not dark, more like blonde and handsome men that walk around with large hammers and beat things with it. That's Thor. Thor is.
You know what we do, ladies? We do like guys with large hammers. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention that, but we like
going
that.
left
We
real
like
quick.
when they beat things with it.
Yes, he is.
Okay, but
He
Thor is the
son
god of
Odin.
thunder. And the new film Thor Ragnarok is kind of a escape from the former two films that had a more serious tone. And apparently this tone is kind of funny, kind of whimsical. And I don't know if I like my Thor.
You know
funny.
what it is? It's the
I'm just
play
not
off
feeling
the
it.
Hulk. Because the Hulk is all digital in this,
Mm-hmm.
and what they did with the character is, and they gave him a more humanistic side. They allowed him to express why he was angry and what he
Mm-hmm.
was going through, and he has a lot of vocals in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you see the Hulk, you familiar with the Hulk, right? Now you got that. That's Angry Man. That's Angry
Yeah, I
Man.
got that one.
The big
I
green
got
guy
that
with
one.
the green and black hair, who was always pissed off and was changed by gamma rays. And when he gets mad, it's on. And that's it. Y'all like that. Y'all like. I had an ex-girlfriend. She was in love with Hulk. I used to say, "Why? He's green." No, look at him when he take his shirt off, Gary. I'm like, can't compete with that. I can't compete with that. So, but
It's true.
the thing is in this movie, and I didn't see the whole movie. I just saw some snippets of it, thanks to certain elements that my brother and them network. My cousin and them hooked
There
up.
you
But
go.
I got you.
There you
the
I got you.
segments that I did see, him and Thor kind of expressed their friendship. But you remember it was always a punch and go kind of friendship. It was like, who's the strongest? Thor will always claim he was the strongest, but the Hulk really was. Really?
You know what? I've never been a Thor fan. I've always
Wow.
rooting for Thor to get whooped. I was always
You got to
rooting
be
for
the
Thor to
only man
get
that
whooped. I
don't like
promise you.
Thor.
He was just,
Dude, really?
bruh. No, bruh.
He was a
no,
white
he was
boy-
he
white
was
boy,
too
pretty boy
blonde. He was
kinda
too
thing.
pretty boy. I didn't like the pretty boy aspect of him. It was like when he went
I was
against
always
the
a
Hulk.
Hulk
I was
fan. Don't
always
get
the
me
Hulk
wrong, but I
person.
wanted to see him give him
I
something.
was always a Hulk person.
Right.
I mean,
right,
he was
because-
going, but he was eventually going to get whooped. So I was down with seeing Thor get his comeuppance. But apparently, in this new film, it's gone kind of towards, and Marvel has kind of been slanting this way with their cinematic universe.
Yeah.
They've been slanting towards more comedy versus DC having a
Which is
darker
kind of
tone,
what,
having
like
a more gritty
the
tone.
storylines of the X-Men, those dark where characters die and sometimes they come back. Yeah, you did say that.
They always come back. We're gonna talk about that in a second. But Thor has, and a lot of their cinematic universe, Thor has gone that route. The new Spider-Man has gone
Oh,
that
yeah.
route.
Yeah, he
Spider-Man
was
is
real
very
millennial.
millennial now.
Yeah.
He's
I did
very
notice
millennial
that.
right now. I'm not feeling the millennial Spider-Man, the whiny.
Well, but
what
then
was me,
again,
Spider-Man? Help
He's
me,
like a
they
Spider-Man.
took him
brat.
from the
Yeah.
high school years. It was supposed to be like he's still in high school and he's a kid, so there's no maturity to
Yeah.
Peter Parker at that point. Yes, Spider.
But my Spider-Man,
one in college?
that I grew up with.
Okay.
No. He was still the high school kid,
But he was
had-
responsible.
He was responsible. He had to struggle for tokens to get on the subway, but he had to do that himself. It was him and his Aunt May, and Aunt May couldn't help him out as much. He just had to make it his own. And so this millennial Spider-Man is,
I
whiny.
think that's interesting. Do you think it says something about just our society and culture in general? Because we had to have a role model or a super figure that was responsible. And what does that
They want to
say
laugh.
about our millennials
And I hate to say
today?
it. That's why all the films is either be drawn really heavily toward comedy. And sometimes it's dry cut comedy, but when you see it, you gotta laugh. I mean, because the Hulk is known for kicking butt and taking names, and he don't bring pins with him to work. So he's gonna kick butt, and that's supposed to be it. And you're supposed to be like, steroid out. Hey, he kicked some butt. But then you bust out and laugh because he turned around, he grabbed Loki by his feet and slung him across the room 2 or 3 times in the last movie.
I was down for that. The first Avengers movie had those undertones of comedy. I was down for that, but not something that was just that didn't take the material seriously.
Okay,
and
we're going to see it today.
I'm not going to say Kevin Feige and those folks. We're going to go see how. We're going to have to. Hey, listen, everybody's invited.
Let's go.
After Sci-Fi Saturdays, let's go see Thor.
Here's the other
we can,
thing.
make judge for yourself.
That are fans of the Hulk know about War World and know that Hulk went to Planet Hulk, and in the comic book series, and he fought. In the animation series, he fought, conquered the planet, got a bride, and got married, and all this, and all that was taken away from him later. But they don't even tell you in the animation. The whole feel of the way they set this up, just from what I saw in the clip, it kind of comes off that War World thing.
But
they changed
apparently
a lot
that's
of the
what's
characters
going to be happening
from the comic book as well as from the animation. It's very different. The main character in this one is very cynical and very funny. And it's played by what's his name? Jeff Goldblum.
Kate Blanchett.
He's
Jeff Goldblum is the collector. Is he the collector?
I can't remember the character's name. What is it, brother?
We gonna get to the bottom of that on y'all.
Yeah, that sounded like
the
some
Grand
thing,
Master.
My bad.
Grand Master.
Let's move on to the next topic. Let's move on to Stranger Things. Have y'all been on it? Are y'all on? Look. I saw like somebody. 1 or 2 and then I somebody put a thumbs down for Stranger.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I watched a little bit of it, but
for real.
I started back up.
It's okay. Later. It's okay. It's you didn't like it either?
Yes, at this right now.
It's you know what? Some women and some people don't like horror, and that's what it was. It's a little bit of everything.
It's strange.
It's a totally different animal.
What did you say?
However,
it's thriller. Okay, but that second season got gory. What you waiting on, girl? It's online.
The second season got so serious. Listen, we got
lost in the first season.
Binge watching.
Half through it.
Look, me and my daughter, as soon as Stranger Things came out, we watched it the whole way through. I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning watching Stranger Things from Friday night into Saturday morning. It was a problem.
Okay. Well, here's the other thing. If you are a fan of those kooky kid movies that we watched back in the 80s, The Goonies, E.T., because that's that whole E.T. thing. Which one? Explorers.
It's a homage to.
I forgot that one. You remember that one? Oh, Monster Squad. You got
Monster
that from Monster Squad kind of atmosphere.
Monster Squad.
And then it has just a touch of Stephen King in it. Enough for you to say, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to go to sleep after I watch this. But, if you're a little kid, I can see, because I was afraid of E.T. I don't know, anybody else had that problem? No. I was the only person. Thank you.
A little bit. No,
you're on your own there, bro.
At first,
that creeped me out.
Thank you.
I couldn't sleep and I woke up. Mom, is that a red light or is that the night light?
You was afraid of E.T. for real, bro.
Look, you feeding a little ugly animal and he giving them Reese's Pieces and he
we just gonna move
E.T. friend.
No. We gonna stop, bro. Stop.
No, I understand. You remember Never Ending Story?
The dragon.
I remember
I was afraid of
That was a weird looking dragon too. Didn't he? He had a face
What's
like a
happening
puppy
with the
dog.
world right now?
He was strange.
Nichayu.
It was very weird. What was his name?
Nichayu.
It did look like a flying dog. I ain't never seen a dragon with no wings, but it can fly.
And I didn't like that. That was weird for
like
me.
one of them Chinese dragons that somebody dipped in
My
cotton
crew
and
is scary.
And then threw him out on the screen and fly.
My crew is scary. Listen, we got to be facing aliens, y'all. My helmsman is afraid of E.T.
Look.
My helmsman is afraid of E.T. And my science officer is afraid of a flying puppy.
But we're gonna rule the galaxy together. We got
Yes.
this. We got
Yes.
you.
But I
We're gonna keep
honestly
it going.
like
We're gonna
Stranger
keep it
Things
moving.
in that if you watch all both seasons, it ties the story together. And there's some sentimental stuff going on in there, especially
Oh, absolutely. The nostalgia
the mother
is like
loss of parents
on fleek.
thing that one of the main characters goes through when she finally finds out who she is and where she's from. And oh, no, I'm just saying.
No spoilers,
I'm
no
just saying,
spoilers, no
I'm giving you
spoilers,
an
'cause-
around basis of what you're looking for in the story. She's gonna find out who she is and find her own power within, and that's the bottom line to the story.
Yeah. It gets very X-Men-ish for that episode. It gets very X-Men, and I'm a big X-Men person. You know what? I'm gonna put this challenge out right now.
I know.
It's the second season.
She's like, which episode?
It's the second season.
Hold up. This challenge, I gotta issue this challenge. I dare anybody to come to Sci-Fi Saturdays. Sci-Fi Saturdays with Keith Wade, and know more than I do about the
Oh
X-Men.
man, I know a couple people.
Dare you?
Anybody
Hey,
here in the live
I dare
audience want to do a quick challenge?
Come on with it. I dare you. I double dog dare you.
All right, you guys get
We'll
prepared.
put a box,
A box
of Frosted
of
Flakes
Frosted
on. I'll give you this
Flakes.
box of Frosted Flakes.
The bet is on.
I dare you, dog.
In a real bowl. In a real bowl.
I give you the whole box. Come on through. Come on through. I ain't scared. I ain't never scared.
He said no.
So we're gonna continue.
So the
on with
challenge is maybe he said he wants to know what's the challenge. He just
you want
wants to
a
know so he can
question to
prepare.
You
We can do a trivia.
you test me on my X-Men knowledge, and I will test you. Okay? And we will come. We will see. We got a challenge already. Yes.
With the camera right there, cause somebody right
Come
here.
to the
He said
throne.
do not put this on the camera.
Come to the throne. Come on over here.
No.
No, you won't be in front of the camera. Right
no,
there.
no,
Right
it's
there's
okay.
good.
Okay.
Right there's good.
Already.
All right, hold on.
What's your name,
Before we
boss?
start your challenge, I need to make sure everybody knows.
Alexander, you taking on KC Wade. Let's see what happens.
The captain of this ship. Hey, but first,
But first, this commercial break. Make sure everybody knows that this particular challenge, the challenge is brought to you by Broward Cultural Division and the Greater Fort Lauderdale Convention Visitors Bureau, and of course, Destination Six Trunk. And so we're going to start with this X-Men challenge. It is the Captain Keith Wade
Your name ain't
versus.
quick. My bad. I'm sorry. I was just listening to her talk. Like, she sounds so good.
Alexander.
You were doing it good.
It was a good commercial.
Oh,
It was a good commercial.
I daydreamed for a second. Alexander, you ready?
we're gonna come right back with the challenge. We're gonna eat some cereal. We're gonna make sure that he get his vitamins because he going down right now. We're gonna come back with a challenge, okay? In 1 second.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sci-Fi Saturdays. Here we are with the challenge of the day. The topic is going to be the X-Men. We have our challenger, Alexander. How you doing, Alexander?
Good.
All right. And then we got our host of our show, the one and only KC Wade, and he's going to start off with asking a question to the challenger, and then the challenger is going to ask him a question. The first contestant to be stomped will forfeit the challenge and will be getting a box of cereal.
You gotta get some
Cereal.
cereal. Okay.
Yes, cereal.
So Alex.
All right, Keith. So you're going
ready?
to get to ask the first question. Let me turn this down a little bit.
Alex. Where was Ororo Monroe Storm originally born?
Very good. Good answer. That was
Okay,
the answer.
that's good.
That's incorrect.
What you say it is, Cap?
She was originally born in New York City, and her parents then traveled to Africa. She was born in New York City. Check it.
Wait, so she's second generation
Storm.
African.
Her father.
I think then that's by way of her parents. She's from Africa.
I said, where was she born? Her father was American. Her mother was African. Check it.
Right. I remember one of the parents being American. All right, I'm going to go to good old Google.
Well, I kind of wanted to hear Alex's question.
You got it?
Storm is the descendant of an ancient line of African priestesses, all of whom have white hair, blue eyes, and the potential to wield magic. Her mother, Nadere, was the princess of a tribe in Kenya. She married the American photojournalist David Monroe and moved with him to Manhattan, where Ororo was born.
Very good.
Nice, very good.
All right, Casey, you the one. My bad. I would have got that wrong too, Alexander. Don't feel bad. You ready to stomp him though?
Come on with your question. I mean,
All right,
I
Alexander.
still want to ask you.
Alexander, here's your question. Go ahead. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. What was the first mission of Wolverine's Uncanny X-Force?
X-Force. X-Force. That's an interesting
Yes.
question.
Uncanny.
The uncanny X-Force.
Uncanny mission.
Oh no, the comic books. X-Force is kind of a derivative of X-Men, but I like that. Wolverine's first mission.
That's the comic book question because there's no animation for that. There's no.
Yeah, there's no. Was it
live drama.
to claim his son to Ken?
No.
Okay.
That was actually in his own comic, but he does kill his son in later issues of Uncanny X-Force.
Okay. What was it?
Their first mission, Wolverine's own kill squad, that, fun fact, also include Deadpool. Their first mission was actually to kill a reincarnation of Apocalypse as a child.
But Ken was there, wasn't he? Ken was there. That's what I got. That good one.
That was good.
That was a good one. So
Can
so
we do
both of
another round?
Oh,
So it
we
looks
gotta
like
do another
we
round.
gotta
'Cause both
tie
of
it.
us.
You gotta do another
We gotta do
round.
another round. Okay. So okay, here we go.
We're gonna
My
definitely
second
do
question.
another
I
round.
got
All right,
a second
Keith,
question.
Go ahead with your second question.
When
Yeah,
Stanley,
that was wrong. Yeah.
when Stanley originated the characters of Professor Xavier and Magneto, who were they based on? Stan Lee and Jack Kirby based Magneto and Charles Xavier on Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Ooh.
Really?
Good. That's it.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
That is whitewashing. That is whitewashing.
That is, a lot happens.
But I mean, Martin Luther King couldn't move nothing with his mind, so I mean,
Well, it was
He
the
only moved
concept.
over with his
it was,
words,
it was
but
the
I got it.
concept of
it might
Wow.
fall from it, right?
no, but it was the concept of nonviolence, who was
Versus-
Professor
right.
Xavier, versus militancy, which was Malcolm X.
Right.
Magneto. And
So they took our black man magic and put it into. They took our essence, our soul. Like
well,
what happened?
he
there?
wanted to make a comment on that
About
that
social
struggle.
equality.
Yeah.
I
And the
get it.
X-Men
I
were
get
created
it.
in 1963, so that was the time that was happening. All right, Alex, give me your question.
Who killed Professor X in Avengers vs. X-Men?
I know this. Cyclops.
That is correct.
That's good. That's good. I think he took it easy on you, Cap.
Okay, but Alex, you did a great job. You
Wait,
get
Cyclops killed who now? Professor X?
yes, he
It's
did.
an entire thing. They ruined. That was the first step of ruining Cyclops' character.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, you know what?
man.
I have to. I've never been a big Cyclops person. Yeah.
But was that a comic book thing?
Yeah,
a
yeah. It
comic
was
book. Okay.
X-Men versus
Okay.
Avengers. Actually, we'll kind of get into all that kind of stuff.
Okay,
In a
okay.
little bit. But thank you very much, sir. You're a worthy challenger.
Great
Good job,
player.
Alexander.
Way to go, Alex.
Good job.
You represented.
You represented for man.
I hope you come and do that again next month. Yeah, the Millennial Challenge. We just
The
created
Millennial
that.
Challenge. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because that
Alex.
was pretty cool.
Alex is my homeboy.
Can I
appreciate
remind
you.
them who brought us that?
Yes.
So, reminder that Millennial Challenge featuring X-Men is brought to you by Broward Cultural Division, the Greater Fort Lauderdale Visitors Bureau, and Destination Sistrunk.
Awesome. Very, very awesome. Our second segment is a segment we're calling What's in the Box. What's in the Box? You know, inspired by the film Seven, Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and that poor man, Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. I don't know about how poor he is, but anyway.
That poor. Yeah, we're going to have to pray for Kevin.
We're going to pray for Kevin. We done heard jokes about that from Family Guy, and I kind of knew him for a long time ago, you know.
Kevin from us at Sci-Fi Saturdays. We're praying for you. We ain't going to say that we, you know.
I pray for Bill Cosby, you know. And
Yeah, we're going to pray
hope-
for you
I
because
wish
we
better
know
for him.
Kevin is a very challenged person right now.
It's a lot of challenges going on in the industry right now.
Yeah.
With that type of stuff.
But what's in the box? So,
What's in the box?
Crystal.
So explain that segment, everybody, Keith, to everybody.
This segment is brought to you by the Broward Cultural Division. And basically, our viewing audience has submitted some questions for me to answer, for us to answer. And Lieutenant Chanel will pull a random question from the box, and we'll answer it to the best of our ability and continue on.
All right, I'm shaking up the box.
What's in the
There's
box?
A ton of questions here.
What's in the box?
Ooh, this is a good one.
Okay.
Should I say who it's from?
Yes,
Okay, it's from Tony.
Tony. Okay.
Is
What's up, Tony?
Star Trek an outdated series?
Ooh.
Never! I'm sorry, I'm a Trekkie. I'm a Trekkie. I watched everything from Voyager to the Enterprise to I'm loving Discovery. I'm so loving Discovery right now. I'm sorry. Forgive me for saying I probably shouldn't say this. I get turned on watching Michael. She just don't understand.
Hey,
That is
Shaniqua
one
Martin
bad
Green
chick.
is bae.
If you have not watched,
Shaniqua Martin Green is bae.
She
We gonna
bae.
get on the show. Shaniqua, I'm telling you right now.
calm yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna try to calm down.
Calm yourself now. Calm yourself.
I'm gonna try to
It's
calm
okay.
down right now.
It's all right. Don't.
Shaniqua Martin Green, if you're not familiar with her, she's from The Walking Dead, who is now the title character in Star Trek Discovery. The first time a woman of color has been the lead character on a Star Trek series.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it's such an interesting tie-in, her story, because the first 3 episodes are going to have you mad. You're going to be ticked off. If you're a Star Trek fan, you're waiting for the happy ending. In the first 3 episodes, it does not happen, correct? For those of you who have seen Discovery, anybody
I haven't seen
Discovery?
anything, but I'm
Okay.
you know, because it's on
No happy end is the first 3
because it's on CBS like streaming,
She
and I don't even know about that streaming
Okay.
situation.
First of all, who's going to pay for CBS All Access?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
that's-
you
it's
gotta
pretty
pay
serious.
for CBS. That's a rough. I don't know how we gonna do that.
Well, call your cousin and them. They hook you up.
They
Your
got
cousin-
it.
your
They
cousin
know
them
what
got
to
it. Your
do.
cousin can tell you what to do.
They unlocking the
Yeah,
sticks.
inbox
and
your
everything.
cousin and them. They'll
We
tell
gotta
you
do
how to
something.
find it.
But that's a great question. In that, is Star Trek still a relevant, potent series? I believe it is. I mean, I love the concept that Gene Roddenberry first came up with of a utopian society, and that's actually going to speak to our main topic today. It's still possible.
But so if it's not outdated, then who's watching it? Is it our generation? Is it the millennials? Is it everybody? Who's still tuned in?
Well, I know I'm a Generation Xer. I'm sorry, Generation Xer, and you know, me personally, for somebody that followed the days of this is James T. Kirk from the Star Trek Enterprise, and you know, listening to him and damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a mechanic. You know, from the doc to Scotty, and feeling the whole exhilaration of going. Yes, Khan, even the movies, but awesome. You know, it showed it showed what it's like for people to go into those new territories and have to fight and face, you know, obstacles. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it even tells the kind of story about what happened in this country, even though it wasn't exactly, you know, on the,
It was
on the
all
up and up.
it was all social commentary.
Absolutely.
it was all social commentary,
Absolutely.
which makes me even more mad. And I know we had this discussion before about this show Orville. Have y'all seen the Orville?
No.
I like it.
I'm
though.
disgusted by the Orville.
Oh God.
He hates Orville.
I hate the Orville.
But
I'm
you
telling
know
you right
what?
now, Seth MacFarlane, I got vexed for you, bruh. I got a problem with you right now.
Seth, I don't got a problem with you.
I got a
Hire
problem
me,
with you
dog.
now, bro.
I come do voices.
No, you better stand behind this dude because I think you are insulting the legacy of Star Trek.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's not.
Bruh, man, come on,
Now,
man.
see,
come on,
that
bruh.
show in itself gives the legitimacy of why space travel and Star Trek has been such an important saga of films and TV shows. Exactly. See, I'm with you, sister. Because had not been, it set the ground for so many other different shows that
Star Trek
spin-offs.
did. Star Trek did. But this is not Star Trek. This is a bootleg. You can't parody something. That's insulting. Let me ask you something.
It's insulting.
Wait.
It's insulting. Let me ask the only rational person on the panel.
I'm the only rational one here.
And
the only rational person
that has
right
never
now.
seen any of it.
You gotta watch Orville. I like
Let
the show.
me pose this to you.
And I'm gonna tell you why I like the show in a second.
Let's say that there was another person that called themselves Crystal Chanel, but they spelled their name different, and they said they wanted to host, and they said they wanted to do everything that you did in the same style that you do it, but they wore fake shoes.
Like fake.
Fake, everything fake. Everything fake.
Was just
everything the same as
Chanel.
you. Everything the same as you. You do it exactly the same way, but you did wear fake shoes and a fake purse and fake and bad makeup and everything else.
And her bundles weren't
And
expensive.
bundles are like
They were like trashy.
yucky hair, whatever
right.
it is.
Ooh. No, you
How
don't
would
want to
you
wear.
feel about
You
that?
don't want to do the yaki ladies.
How would you feel?
You want to do Malaysian. Yeah, I think I have to agree with Keith though. I think they're taking too much and making everything so super funny and not authentic.
Have
and
you watched any episodes?
I haven't seen
Okay,
Orville.
you need
I've
to watch
seen
the
it.
episode before.
I've seen it.
Because what I enjoyed about the show is the depth of the social parody that they went to. There were shows that addressed issues about homosexuality. There were shows that
Star Trek did the
addressed-
same thing.
Not
Star
because
Trek did the
it
same
was a different era then. It was a different era then, and you can't compare Star Trek to Enterprise or the Voyager because those were different eras as well, and there were different things that happened on those on the Enterprise on the Voyager and with Janeway. What was the name of Janeway's?
It was
It
Voyager.
was Voyager. I'm sorry, Voyager.
It was the original series, Star Trek Next Generation,
Right, Next Generation.
Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine.
Who
That was the one I was thinking of. Deep
one of the
Space Nine was the
alumni.
space station, right? With
Yeah,
the black
one
cat-
of the
black dog.
alumni, one of the people that was on Deep Space Nine is now on the Orville, and I feel like I have to have a conversation with Penny. Like, how do you feel about this? Because Penny, the doctor, she was.
Yeah.
You remember?
She was on the
She
on Deep
was.
Space Nine.
She was Cisco's wife
Yeah.
on Deep Space Nine.
You have a problem with her being on Orville?
I mean, she's an actress. She got
Right.
she can work.
She
I mean,
gotta
just
work,
but
so.
just my main problem with the Orville is that they can't decide whether they want to be a comedy or a drama, and they're walking the line and they're not doing a good job of it.
I disagree. I think sometimes we can find our humanistic side in the humor.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get caught up in, okay, if you take the story to outer space, it makes no sense. But then when you relate it to what we have going on, make it sound how stupid it really, most of the stuff is really dumb. Especially the things that we find, when you start judging somebody because of their sexual orientation, that's kind of stupid. I mean, that has nothing to do with them being a person, another human being, correct? What you do in your bedroom is what you do in your bedroom. And how you do it is your business. Whether you sit and lay eggs or you, whatever you do. Mm-hmm. But just from watching the series, as I've gone through it, it's even tackled issues that we face modernly, especially with technology.
Technology.
I thought that was an awesome episode because it says something, and the episode is called Majority Rule. I'm not giving any spoilers away, but for those of you that saw the episode, you'll be like, wow. And it says something about what we're dealing with in our society right now, this 21st age level of
the
technology.
transgender episode.
Yeah.
The episodes have great
They have
topics.
substance.
Yeah, they have great topics, but the way they're executed is bad because everything that comes from the show is bootleg Star Trek, down to the opening title sequence, down to the tricorders, down to everything is bootleg. Like, why can't you come up with an original show? Don't try to be Star Trek. Don't try to be fake Crystal Chanel.
No.
Don't try to be fake.
With your fake
no.
shoes.
With your
I
fake show
get
and
that.
with your yucky hair. Don't.
So Gary, let me
But
ask you.
a parody is meant to when somebody insults you, imitation is supposed to be a
It's
compliment.
supposed to be flattering,
Right, it's
but it
flattery.
doesn't feel that way to real fans.
But see, you got to watch it and understand where it's
No,
coming
but my
from,
question
because
is-
it takes the hypocrisy of what's stupid about the show. Because there were times when I watched James T. Kirk kick 5 or 6 aliens behinds, and it's not realistic. Especially if you're living on different planets and the atmosphere is different, and these people are supposed to be stronger, or they have all you know what I mean? And he just James just kicking people behind. He's sleeping with green women, and stuff like that.
I see where you coming
and he ain't
from. I
catching
see
no
where you coming
STDs. None of that. But
I understand what you're saying, Crystal.
With green women.
What's your
this
question,
show,
Chanel?
It looks
Crystal,
at that stuff and says
Crystal
how.
had a
I'm sorry,
question.
Chris, let me cut you off. But it looks at it, and that's what I think the show is important. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I'm just wondering. So to answer Tony's question, is it outdated and have people moved on to Orville,
I think
or is there a place for both?
It's an association.
I definitely
Of
think
course
there's a place for
they're
both,
associated
but I'm a loyalist. There's a reason why my nickname is the captain.
with it. Wow.
He's a loyalist.
I'm a loyalist.
He's the captain. That's Captain C. Wade,
Yes,
and he's a loyalist.
I'm a loyalist.
And that's why we ride with him.
There you go. See, best crew in the
Should I
I
galaxy.
mean, he
To the
entitled
next.
his opinion on that one, but I still like Orville.
I
And
feel-
if,
we-
if nothing else, look at it.
I
I'm gonna
agree to
watch
disagree.
it over the
Watch,
weekend.
watch,
I'm gonna watch
watch
it
at
tonight.
least 3 episodes, and then you come back with an opinion about what
Whether
the
or
show is,
not-
because you can't judge off what somebody else tells you until you say, "Well, dog, this show sat with me." Because there's a difference. You watch certain shows, and it's like, "Oh, okay, that was interesting. I'm never watching this again."
At all.
And then you see something that hit you home, and you're like, "Man, I gotta watch this show again." I felt like that about, not to get all off topic, but what's the name of it? Wisdom of the Crowd. Have any of you watched that?
No.
It's very technologically inclined, and it brought something home. I said, "Wow, how important can technology be to serve a purpose?"
I'm gonna suggest a better series than that.
What's that?
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. What's that
Black
about?
Mirror. If you have not
I haven't seen
seen Black Mirror.
Now this is sci-fi.
This is sci-fi to the extreme.
Okay.
The first episode is about the Prime Minister of England having to save like Princess Diana.
Mhm.
He has to save Princess Diana because she's been kidnapped, and the only way he can save her is if he has live sex with a pig.
Oh wow, that's interesting. So would you do it if you needed to save your princess?
Again, I like shows that take you to the edge, but there's a limit of what really is.
But it poses all those social questions. So
That's
Black Mirror.
weird.
Black
that's,
Mirror
That's
is-
really weird.
Black Mirror is a serious
I wrote it
series. You
down.
gotta
I'll
watch
watch
it. Anyway, we're gonna break for a second. We're gonna eat some more cereal. Then we're gonna come back with our dilemma of the day. And so y'all stick with us for a second. We're gonna be back in 2 and 2.
Have mercy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again as we rejoin with Sci-Fi Saturdays. This is Gary D. Wright, your helmsman at the wheel, and I'm going to introduce to you one more time our host. Please give it up for my man, Keith C. Wade.
All right, let's dive in. Let's dive into our topic, and we'll definitely get some commentary from our live studio audience in regards to the dilemma of the day. It's all geek to me. Can geek culture unify us? You like that title?
I
Yeah.
like that. All geek.
It's all geek to me. Can geek culture unify us as a society? And I pose that question because, like I was saying, and I really appreciate Alex being here because that kind of gave me the opportunity to introduce my favorite thing. I love the X-Men. I am an X-Men head. Like right now, I'm more of a Batman dude, but I started really loving comic books because of the X-Men. And the X-Men were a persecuted group of people, hated by society, taken a lot of their rights and privileges were taken away because of who they were, who they were born to be. And there's nothing they could do about that. Sound familiar?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I love the X-Men because of that.
Overcome.
You stupid. But it really kind of shed light on struggle, and it gave me hope. about that. One of the first X-Men graphics novels that I read, I would suggest everybody read God Love Man Kills. And yeah,
That's deep.
yeah, that was the first X-Men graphic novel about the X-Men facing essentially what they did is a mob killed a mutant boy, just a little boy, and they had to find not only the killer but unveil a bigger conspiracy behind who killed this little boy. And why. And I think reading that really made me want to be a champion for social justice. I wanted to do something. And in my captain's log, we'll talk about that more. But I wanted to kind of pose that question to our audience and to my distinguished crew. Do you think geek culture can unify us as a society? Why or why not?
I think that coming from someone who was invited here as a fan of geeks and really learning about the culture through geeks, not actually firsthand watching the shows or reading the comic books, I think that when you guys take your rightful place explaining the culture to the masses, we will find that we're all geeks and that we're all geek fans, and there is an opportunity to unify, looking at some of the things that those geek curators, if you will, put together in their shows. There's parallels to what's happening in society. So if you guys would kind of make sure that you're broadcasting and streaming and talking about what's going on with the X-Men and their plight and so on and so forth, definitely the geek culture will unify us all and bring about social justice.
I totally agree. She pretty much said everything that would need to be said about that. But it's the social story is always there and underlined in these stories about the imaginative and unreal that relate us to them so well that it makes us want to get up in the morning, especially when we were 5 and 6 years old, and strap a cake to our neck. Because I don't know how many, anybody else in here ever tied a towel around their neck and ran around the house?
Jumped off the bed and flew to the floor.
For every little kid that felt that way and got up in the morning to watch Captain Caveman or went to, that was my show.
Yeah.
You're telling your age.
Yes.
Yes.
Go on, girl. That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
what I'm
2
talking
times
about.
for the X's in the house.
That's what I'm talking about.
The millennials are like, what?
How are you
What cartoon?
What's a caveman?
But I saw
Why
some
is he a
folks-
captain?
Is he on a ship? Is he on a ship? What's going on?
We had the good stuff. Do they still watch cartoons on Saturday morning? Do they still have that?
Look. Actually, no. The concept
have
of Saturday
music,
morning
no.
cartoons was destroyed by a federal law.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, we got to talk about that.
Yeah. It was destroyed by a federal law and the advent of streaming services and cable news networks. So there's a whole big thing behind why Saturday morning cartoons don't exist anymore. But we're gonna talk about it another time. We're not gonna stay.
And another, because I want to
We're
get
going to talk
into this
about
real
it. But what I will say, it gave way and birth to the Cartoon Network.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
Which is why it's kind of weird how spoiled the
And
next generation is.
Yeah, they
You
can-
can watch cartoons 24/7.
all day, every day.
We had a
God.
We had to
specialized
wait.
cartoon time, and the house had to be clean before
Yes.
You watch
sat in
cartoons.
front
That was it.
Yes.
of the
That was
TV.
it.
You couldn't
could not
watch
touch
no
that
cartoon.
television.
You could not watch Voltron until you finish your homework.
What? The lions would not join together.
No. No.
You be sitting somewhere mad. My
Mama
mama
said I can't watch
the
it.
lions.
Get your book.
Oh God!
I'm for real. But I saw some of our distinguished guests shake their head when I posed the question. I wanted to know why they believe that geek culture can't unify us as a society. Somebody want to
Can or
contribute?
cannot?
Come on.
We're going to get the doctor on.
Get on close.
Dr.
on,
Hitachi over
Professor,
here. Dr.
Professor.
Hitachi. She going to come over and talk to us a
Professor,
little
come
bit.
on.
We're gonna have a message from the doctor.
The doctor.
The doctor's in the house.
Hey everyone, what's going on? The problem is that geek culture is a microcosm of a larger society, and it mirrors larger society. So to expect something different from a sub or a co-culture within society, I think it's expecting too much. You're expecting geek culture to carry society, and it can't if it mirrors larger society. So no. until people like you get to the top. But even there's a problem with that in geek culture. There's a problem. The visibility of African Americans and people of color in geek culture is so slim. Not that you're not there, but you're not visible and you're not at the top. You're not calling the shot. So until that happens, geek culture cannot be the savior that you would hope it would be.
All right, Doc.
Go on, Doc.
All right.
Very succinct
That
explanation.
That was
the
heavy
doc.
medicine. Heavy medicine truth.
Who says that you can't be a geek in every walk of life? This lady got a PhD. Is she a geek
Still a
like the
geek.
rest of?
Hey.
I love that. That is so
That's
hot.
That's the doctor on the crew. That's the
yeah,
doctor and engineer. So there's aspects of what you said, Professor, that I agree with and that I disagree with. In that we have directors like Ava DuVernay who are bringing a string in time to us. A Wrinkle in Time, I'm sorry. That's bringing a wrinkle in time to us. We got folks like my boy that's directing Black Panther. Okay.
And that's gonna be hot, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't even wait to talk about that.
Ryan Coogler. Yeah, Ryan Coogler.
Who's the guys I saw you share on Facebook? They're coming out with that interactive comic book.
Even the Black Eyed Peas, it has an interactive, what they call augmented reality comic book coming out.
Oh, really?
They turned up with Marvel to have an augmented reality comic book. So I believe there are inroads to it, but more philosophically, when I say can geek culture unify us as a society, I believe that it can, in that there are images that are created that we digest spiritually, mentally, physically, in a lot of ways. And I'll get on that more, but anybody else got another perspective on why they think it can't? Because I saw a couple of hands that said no. Come on up, brother. Go ahead, introduce yourself and tell us what you think.
Hi, my name's Derek. I think one of the other, to kind of go back to what the doctor was talking about, is, like cosplay. And you see a lot of discrimination in the cosplay world. I've gone to many anime conventions and I've seen lots of different characters. And the one thing that you'll see is that let a black individual dress up as a character that is not normally black.
All right now.
And you will see people lose their minds because
Superman
they're
didn't
not
have an afro.
Okay? So you got people getting mad over animated characters being portrayed by black people and are saying, you can't do that. You can't be like that. You can't wear that outfit. Why not? First of all, it's a make-believe character anyway.
Exactly.
And this black man or woman is doing their interpretation of that character. That's not a cultural thing. It's animation.
That's all it is.
But they take it very seriously. So if we can't even represent a character, a fictional character that we like, how can we expect them to then accept us in a grander scale to be unified? You know, you look online, you see lots of stories of black girls who may dress up as a particular character and they get shamed. Mm-hmm. You know, like, black girl, you're not supposed to, you can't wear that. You can't look like that. Why?
That's why I'm working on a female character right now.
Yeah, so you got a lot, we have a long way to go, but I hear what you're saying. And I think the question is not if it will, I think it can. It can. But in order for it to do so, you have to have an acceptance by people who don't look like us to accept us doing the same things that they're doing in that culture. If they don't accept us in that culture, it makes it kind of hard for us to hold hands and sing Kumbaya, you know?
But you know what's coming, brother? Now that you said that,
I'm gonna read.
But you guys got to make sure you're on the mic.
But I'm saying as long as we keep doing what we're doing, and we keep you do all you keep going forward and do what you want to do, understanding that that other side they still are going to be resistant to you. You don't stop because of their resistance, but understand that it's there. And there's something you have to deal with, but you keep going forward.
I just wanted to put out there, there's a whole segment of study in this called Afrofuturism.
Afrofuturism.
Look at us in this space.
Absolutely.
If you're interested in that, look up Afrofuturism.
I'm an Afrofuturism writer.
And they have a conference that we should be bringing to Broward.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I gotta say, I went to SuperCon, and my perspective may be different because you guys are geek from birth. But I just went to my first SuperCon this year with Captain Keith C. Wade. And my experience was amazing. It was very inclusive. There were white people there. There were black people there, Asian, Spanish. It was culturally diverse. Everybody was in costumes. I saw Black Storm. I saw Asian Storm. I saw anime characters. I think that for me, it was when I entered that building, color and culture didn't matter, and the only thing that mattered was geek. And for that reason, that's why I'm here this morning, because I wanted more than anything to be geek in that moment. So yeah, like
There you go.
I thought it was
what I'm talking
awesome.
about. That's what I'm talking about.
That's when super succeeds over everything else.
Yes.
Irregardless of color, irregardless of race, irregardless of gender equity, and how we look at people being people, just being people.
Absolutely.
And I think I feel what you were saying about that, and there's still we do have elitism in geekdom, and that's why there aren't as many black comic book lines or black animators, and we're going to change that.
Yeah,
We're gonna change that.
that's what I'm talking
And
about.
that's where the doc was talking about that what is it called again?
Afrofuturism.
Afrofuturism.
The Warrior's Path, Alpha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's wrap up.
No.
we're gonna
Remember
wrap-
how you never wanted Saturday morning cartoons to end?
Yeah.
Never.
Then you had to go run errands with your mom.
Let's wrap up. We're gonna wrap this up as we're always gonna do every Saturday with Captain's Log.
Before you go, Cap, I got to make sure everybody knows that this entire Sci-Fi Saturdays was brought to you by the Broward Cultural Division, the Greater Fort Lauderdale Convention and Visitors Bureau, and of course, Destination Sistrunk.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lieutenant. Captain's Log, ED 11417. As we're talking about unifying society through geek culture, I'm reminded of the first 3 movies I remember ever seeing in my life, which was Annie, The Exorcist, and Star Wars. Now, I know that is a very eclectic group of movies to like start out with, but the one that really stuck to my bones was Star Wars. And it stuck to my bones because it formed the marrow of my moral spine. When I saw Luke Skywalker, I felt like I was Luke Skywalker. He didn't look like me, but I identified with that wanting to be good. And before I wanted to be an actor, before I was interested in medicine, I wanted to be a Jedi. I wanted to be a Jedi because the Jedis fought for good. And I believed because I watched that movie that I could be somebody that fought for good and won. I was that guy that went to school and did the right thing. I was that guy that brought flowers to my mom because it was the right thing.
You go, Jedi.
I was the guy that went and mentored and became a teacher because it was the right thing.
He's a good guy.
I became a Jedi in real life. And that's why I believe that geek culture can unify society, because it inspires people to do the right thing.
Yes.
It inspires them to be heroic.
It inspires people to be heroic. And if you can physically manifest that which is fantasy into reality, then you can do that. And I've done that. That's the person that I am. I can't deny it. It's the marrow of my bones. And for that reason, I believe we can be better. I believe we can do more. I believe that despite the darkness that faces us, we can create light. We don't have to see the light, we can create it. That's what I believe ultimately geek culture can do and aspire to be. So, you can agree with me, you can disagree with me, but that's just how I feel. And to the day I die, in one form or another, I'm going to be a Jedi. All right.
Captain, you're my hero.
Here's a
Thank you,
quote from
Lieutenant.
Robert H. Schuller, who says, "There are vast, untapped resources of faith and talent that can be discovered only in adversity."
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, I think that's a great way to end our first show. I want to thank Mr. Gary D. Wright. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, sir.
So much.
Thank you for having me aboard.
I want to thank Lieutenant Crystal Chanel. Thank you, my love.
My pleasure. My
I
pleasure.
appreciate y'all so much. Listen, we're going to do this every first Saturday of the month. Next month, we're going to be on some Star Wars tip real serious because the movie's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Please come back, eat some cereal with us. It's going to be a blast. So, for Gary-
December 4th.
December 4th. So, for this crew, I am Captain Keith C. Wade. I will see you in the movies. Wade out.